Hello, and welcome to the Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'm doing a double-page scrapbook layout, and I'm starting with some mixed media paper that I cut to size, and then I'm spraying it with some distressed mica stain, and this color is called Merry Mint. So it was released for the Christmas edition, but last time I looked it was still available. Here's one of my backgrounds after it has dried, and I'm going to use this for the Iron Crafter Challenge for this month, and we were challenged to use enamel shapes or dimensional drops. So my idea was to use this set that I have because I don't really have too much enamel anything. So I was going to use these soda ones because I have some pictures from Mexico where we had soda, Coca-Cola, and some other soda with spaghetti, and then we have it out while we were playing games. So this will be my layout of using the pictures where we were playing Jenga and Uno. So I thought the soda would be fun. And I thought I had a 12 by 12, so I was just going to lay out my pictures on that and do some embellishment clusters. But when I started looking through my paper, that is not what I had. The paper I was thinking of came from this, which is a 6x6 paper pad. And I use this for making a whole bunch of Valentine cards. So I really don't have much. Now, the reason I use green is this is the washi tape that came with it. So you can see the soda has kind of a turquoise blue, and then it has this minty green. This is a little brighter, but it's still in that same family. So I want to bring in the blue from the soda can, and this, of course, will tie the green together. And this is all I had of the soda paper. And then I had one 6x6 page. So that's all I have. And since I have a lot of photos, I want to make these into two layouts. So I'm going to have to really stretch this paper. This I have, I could cut this strip off, and then this. So that's what I have for my pattern paper. So I will be cutting those off screen. Then I'll also be utilizing some plain paper. I have this in a 8.5 by 11 size, I believe. And also a mint green, so I can tie those two colors from the washi into the whole layout and stretch my paper with that. So I'll be cutting these off screen, and then I also have red and white enamel accents. Now, when I think dimensional drops, probably mostly think of Nuvo Drops. I don't have any of those, and I don't know that this is really made anymore, but you can use anything like Nuvo Drops, or I haven't tried them yet, but scrapbook.com has some that I want to get. There's their own brand that's like this. So I'll see you back in a moment after I cut all the paper. I'm back now, and I cut out my mats, and actually the first page I went ahead and did everything other than my embellishments, because you don't need to watch me do that in 2 pages. And I'll do the same thing on this other page. And I apologize, I had to post it over all this because this is when we went to Mexico to mission, and we visited some children's homes. So for purposes of privacy, I had to cover up the faces of all the people that were in the home. So we ate dinner with them. But I'm going to show you the process on this page. And so I'm just starting with some washi tape that I showed you earlier. And I'm just going to make sure I got this at 11.5. Going the right way. Which side's up. Now, on some of my photo albums, I use Creative Memories. So some of those are 12 by 12 actual, and some of them are 12. The old ones are actually 12 by 12, but because of a bar that's on the page, it's hard to explain it. But anyway, it's not actually 12 by 12. It's 11.5 wide by 12, 11.5 this way, and 12 this way. So it depends which photo album I'm putting on is whether I cut my paper 12 by 12. Well, usually it's 12 by 12 anyway, but then I have to cut it down to 11.5 by 12. If I'm putting it in one of the older photo albums, which this one is, I have a red photo album I'm putting these in, that's the older style Creative Memory albums. Otherwise, 12 by 12, you wouldn't have to measure. And then I'll speed it up from here so you're not watching me do this forever. So on this step, I'm just putting washi tape all the way around. Now, I didn't realize the first time I used washi tape that it was see-through, and I put it on something, and so it didn't look good with what was behind it. This is kind of the same color, so it's not really going to show through, and if it does, it still matches. So you want to be careful if you're using washi tape what you're putting it on so that it looks the way that you want it to look. Next, I'm going to glue down this blue strip of paper that I had already cut out. And I cut out that 6x6 paper of the soda into strips and put it on the top and bottom of the blue strip so that it looks like a border. It kind of looks like I put it on the top of some of the soda paper. And that's how I stretched it on both of my layouts. Now, I usually use these mounting squares, or sometimes they're called photo splits or photo squares. I use those to mount my photos onto my paper. And once again, I put Post-it notes over their faces so I can respect the privacy of the children, because this is a children's home in Mexico. My sister and I went to this one here. We had already been sponsoring each a child from another home. It's all run by the same organization. And we got to meet those girls at their church on Sunday. And then we went to the park with them and the rest of the girls at the home, and as well as their house, they call them house parents, the ones who take care of them, as well as some of the other people in the organization. And we went to a park and got to climb around and things with that. But we have two younger children that we sponsor there. So at this home, we each decided we wanted to pick another girl to sponsor. So we each picked another one. The plan was to each pick one a different age. So I picked one that was older than mine. But my sister ended up picking one that was probably about the same age as the one she had, because we sat across from her at the table. And so we got to know her a little bit. And it turned out that that girl had just came in that week. And so she didn't speak to us a lot, although I don't speak hardly any Spanish. But we had a translator sitting with us. So what we had found out is that they had just been taken into the home that week. And they had been one of the worst abuse cases that both the people that worked at the organization and the child care workers who placed them there had ever seen. Thankfully, they were taken away, and the family who was supposedly taking care of them were put in jail. So at least it ended well. And my sister now sponsors her, and it sounds like she's making improvements, and they're doing surgeries and getting them counseling, as well as love and a stable home. So I'm glad that they are now in a place where they're getting love. Now, the other thing I did to stretch the paper is I took that strip of soda paper that came off one of the pattern papers that had strips and put it at the top of this matted picture, and I did the same on the other page that I had done previously, and that kind of stretched the paper, and it kind of looks like there might be pattern paper behind my pictures, but it's really just these strips. So that's how I stretched the paper from the 6x6 pad. Now the challenge was to use enamel shapes or dimensional drops or enamel drops like Nuvo. So at least that's what I understood it to be. So I'm using these stickers from Doodlebug, and I'm just using the soda ones. And then I will show you how I'm embellishing both of the layout pages. So when you're doing a double page layout, I like to use the same colors or same papers, something similar so that they tie together. You could do them all exactly the same, but you don't have to. I'm just taking a heart that was from the Doodlebug paper pad, and I'm just using that for journaling. And I'm writing, smiles and laughter are the same in any language. And I feel like that's what we learned in this experience, because most of the children didn't speak much English, if any, and I hardly spoke any Spanish, and only a few people really knew much Spanish. So we had a great time playing Jenga and Uno in any case, and it was mostly because you're playing a game, and we were all laughing and smiling and having a great time. I still had that small square of soda paper left, so I just glued my heart on that, and then brought some more of that soda paper look in there. So I was able to stretch that little bit of paper I had over both layouts. So now I'm just putting on my soda sprinkles, or they're called shape sprinkles, on my layout on this side. And now I'm starting to add my enamel accents. Or this one is called classic cherry enamel accents. I don't think they make this anymore, but I'm sure Nuvo Drops has a red one. And I'm sure scrapbook.com, I just remember theirs is called, I think, Color Pops. And I'm sure they have a red color. And I'm not really great with these. I don't use them very often. But I do know you need to have them not too cold or it won't come out. And I warmed them up a little bit in my hand. But then it got too hot. So then I had to let them cool because then it ran out. So got to have it somewhere in between too warmed up and really cold. I do my scrapbooking in my basement. So I had to warm it up because otherwise they would be real cold because it's cold in my basement. As I mentioned before, this is part of the Iron Crafter Hop. So hop along to get some more ideas of how to use these type of products in your scrapbooking. I do like this hop because it's challenged me to use things I don't usually use, because these drops are something I hardly ever use and I'm not really good at it. So it's challenging me to do different things, and also this way I'm getting different looking layouts so that all my scrapbooking doesn't look the same on every page. I'll put a list of all the products that I'm using in the description below. Some of these will be affiliate links. They don't cost you anything extra to use, but I do get a small commission from any sales that those links generate, and that helps support my channel. Also, some of these products, like I mentioned before, are probably not available. I don't think the enamel accents are made anymore. The white might be. And also the Doodlebug is an older product, so most of those will probably not be available. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you're not already a subscriber, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel. If you are already a subscriber, I want to thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.